I'm going to start with the understanding of hair growth. So, with hair growth, you've got three stages of hair growth: anagen, telogen, and catagen. Anagen is where a single strand of hair grows, and now on humans, on your head, it grows up to 7 years. And this is the same with long hair, so that single strand of hair will grow for up to 7 years. And telogen stage is when that strand of hair stops growing, but it's sat dormant in your head or animal's body. And telogen is when a new strand of hair pushes the old strand of hair out. Now this happens on our body hair. This happens every 6 weeks. So you have new eyebrows, new arm hairs, new leg hairs, every 6 weeks. Now this is relevant because this happens with animals. The shorter the coat on an animal, the more shedding you will get. And that animal is going through those three stages of hair growth constantly. Now, you may ask what the relevance of that is to tweed, and I will explain. Well, I'm going to go with the understanding of hair. So, with this little diagram I've made, this is a diagram of a chocolate self. Imagine the chocolate being a little bit darker, it doesn't have brown powder. These are guard hairs. This is the coat you want. So at a show, you would pluck these ones out, but regardless of whether you can pluck those top guard hairs out, you're always going to have guard hairs that are that length, that length, that length, and that length, as well as the ones you've taken out that are that length. Now, on a chocolate self, that doesn't make a difference because all of those hairs are chocolate. So as long as you get them down to the right level, all the other hairs are the same colour. Now with an agouti, obviously the main part of their hair, now I've done this on a chocolate agouti, which is a chocolate base with a gold tip. The reason I've done that is because it's more relevant to the tweeds. So on an agouti strand of hair, you've got a large part of chocolate with a tip of gold. Now again, these hairs will be at all lengths, not all at this length. Now on a chocolate agouti, the guard hairs are chocolate, which means they are really easy to groom because the guard hairs that you can see are a different colour to the colour that you want. So when you're grooming a tweed, they are incredibly easy to groom because you can see exactly what hairs are growing. Now, there is two ways that the tweed gene affects the coat. Firstly, I'm going to do it on the chocolate self. So we'll go back to this one where the chocolate self, the guard hairs are the same colour as the main coat. This gets a little bit more complicated. So, you can see these are your main coat. So on a chocolate self, these are completely chocolate from base to tip. Now the tweed gene strips out or silvers the chocolate colour. So what it does is these strands, it takes away a lot of that chocolate colour. It will never turn it white, but it silvers it, so it gives more of a silver look to it. And it also changes the colour of the guard hairs. So all of the guard hairs will be silver. Now, there will always be a very slight difference between the silvered coloured hair and a pure silver hair. Ideally they would be similar, but you will always be able to see some definition. No matter how light that silvered undercolour is, you will always be able to see some definition. Now you don't want to see dark and light hairs in the undercolour. You want to see it really quite light, so that you get a more tipped finish to it. But you will always, that's why I've used two different colours in this, you will always see a slight difference in there. How the agouti tweeds came out. I put it in the sale pens at Stafford Agricultural Show, And I showed it to David Alton, and I passed it to him and I said, what is this? And he said, I don't know, but it's really interesting, because it was a dark-eyed Argento. Told him what it come from. He said, don't sell it, keep it. So I brought it home with me, and I had a pet Dutch chocolate tweed sow. I thought, well, I'll put it in with that one and another bull, all because I thought it was a sow. Well, it started rumbling, didn't it? Eventually found itself. But anyway, it stayed in with this Tweed Dutch and produced. Now, I haven't got the original one. He has only just died. But this is the grandson of that mating. It ended up being...
Is it that one?
Yes, that one. Not that particular one, it was on the TV at the time. So it came out, and when he was born, he had I didn't even know, I've got pictures of him as a baby, and he came out without the intermingling white hair. He came out with pure white undercolour, and it looked striking, like completely white and with gold overcolour. And I was like, what is this? As it grew, it became one of these. The intermingling guard hairs came out later. They were obviously quite short and in the undercolour at the time. So when they're born, they are completely gold with a bright silver undercolour. And that was where the agouti tweed came from. Now, we didn't also know that it was an agouti at the time. And it wasn't until after a conversation with Don, when we presented them here, and the difference being that these have got a belly. And Don said, well, you can't have two pigs in the same breed that have got different characteristics. And it wasn't until I bred a really dark one that actually I then realised that that gold tweed that I was calling the gold tweed was actually an agouti tweed, because with this one is really quite dark. So this is bred from a pure agouti, chocolate agouti, to an agouti tweed. And this is first generation, so you can see the colour is a lot darker, and you just start to get a little bit of silvering, but more of the white intermingling hairs. So it was at that point that I realised that these were agoutis, not self-golds.
What's his belly like?
Belly.
Oh, yeah.
On the TV, Jamie, now.
Oh yeah, that was the first ever pure chocolate agouti tweed that I ever produced. And that was out of this tweedle that David Alton told me to keep.
I had the pleasure of judging that. It was lovely.
It was. So, because I don't have many chocolate tweeds, you've got the pleasure of seeing lots of agouti ones. I am going to get some more chocolates back, because I do feel like I've variated off my original. I love these. These are a lot more even right from day dot. As soon as they're born, up until the end of their show career, their evenness stays a lot more. Now, you do get inconsistencies with these. With this one, I don't know whether you can see it from here, but this one's got a slightly darker shoulder, which would be a fault. You want that. You're going for balance. But as with an agouti, grooming is so important, because if you don't groom, all of these hairs, where he's not the one to show you one, I've got one. Can someone, do you want to go look at these for a second? I'm just going to walk around and I'm going to show you guard hairs. So if you've got really long silver guard hairs, it's going to give the appearance of making it a lot lighter. So when, like I say, with the Gucci, that is so easy to bloom out because you can see the colour difference in there. So if you get one that's really dark on the shoulder and really light on the thing, it hasn't been groomed, and should be marked down for that reason as well, because you have got the opportunity to make this breed even, and it takes time. You should put the time into your pigs. If you're not going to, what's the point in showing them? You do, with any pigs, one of the faults that you tend to get with these, and it's been ironed out, is bits of white. You do have it popped up every now and again. All of these came from a Dutch pig. It's actually a